Welcome to one of the Innovire Open Market Consultation events. Good morning, everybody. Where Hospital Universitario de Getafe will take the center stage with its challenge called FHARMAVERSO. So without any further delay, let's go to our agenda. So today we are going to start this session with a warm welcome from Bertrand Wert from the European Innovation Council. He will set the stage for an exciting of innovation exploration of this European project. You will then gain insights into the Innovire program that is driving the force powered by the European Innovation Council that is fueling this organizational growth. José Ángel from Hospital Universitario de Getafe will then present a pressing challenge that requires an innovation solution. Obviously, as an open market consultation event, attendees are more than welcome to engage with speakers in the Q&A chat box of this event. At this time, other members of the Hospital Universitario de Getafe will join the discussion, and there are two ways to participate in this Q&A session. You can raise your hand, and we will give you the floor by giving you the ability to unmute yourself, or you can use the Q&A session chat box to write your questions, comments, or remarks. One final particularity of this event is that this is being recorded for dissemination purpose, so in the scope of this Innovire project. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Bertrand Wert, our innovation maker and innovation procurement advisor from European Innovation Council. He will share a few words about today's event. Thank you all.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. And thank you very much, Mariana, for this nice introduction. Good morning, everyone, being here, or for the ones that will have the chance to watch it later. That's the purpose of actually registering this exchange. We will be together for 1 hour, and it's the first open market consultation of a series of actually 15 in total that will occur in the next days, actually. So I'm Bertrand. I'm talking from Brussels, from the European Innovation Council. So we are a program of the European Commission dealing with the support of to research and innovation all around Europe. What is the EIC? The EIC actually is one part of this large R&I program, and the EIC is directed to small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, startups, to support them to reach the market, actually, from the research to the market deployment. And to reach the market, you need buyers. You need people, companies ready to buy your solution. And that's part of the idea of today, actually, and of this open market consultation. Here we have the great pleasure to be with people, the hand on the do, on the ground in Madrid, in Getafe Hospital. All this nice team of pharmacists that I wanted also to personally thanks. Rocío, Raúl, Teresa, Javier, and Rosa, muchas gracias for your time and for your dedication to be open to meet these potential clients, these potential companies that could answer your needs, your challenges. And that's the idea of today. When you're coming to us with this specific need of having a device that will support you and your patients to actually have their own auto medication, if I understood well. And that's the whole idea of today, of having you, the potential buyers, the potential users at the end, and to have also what the EAC is supporting is these SMEs and startups that will be able to understand, to follow, and to suggest you a couple of solutions to your needs. So that's the aim of the EAC here, of bridging the gap between the most innovative startups and SMEs from all around Europe and the market here, the Getafe Hospital. Just to say that the EAC, if the EAC is targeted to SMEs and startups for a total of 10 billion euro for 7 years, we are supporting all these companies financially via grants, via equity. We take share also in these promising companies. We are also open to other type of stakeholders, such as public buyers, procurers, such as Getafe Hospital. So if I can share an invitation here, is to say that indeed we are open to very innovative startups and SMEs, but we are also open to other type of stakeholders, such as hospitals. So if there are any other hospitals listening to this presentation, you are very welcome to contact us and to join us in this nice adventure. With Innovire, we would like, with the support of F6S and all the consortium, we would like to experiment, to pilot 15 of these co-construction between public buyers, private buyers, and SMEs and startups. We are supporting both sides financially, if we are trying to do so, to actually work together. That is the aim of today. So without further waiting, I would say I wish you all the very best for today's presentation, colleagues, pharmacists from Getafe Hospital for today. And I wish you all the very best in the co-construction, in the development of the solutions that you need to answer actually your need and challenges, and moreover, the needs and challenges of your patients, of Madrid people on the ground. So thanks very much again for your involvement in this project, and in general for all the good things you are doing as a public service. Guys, you rock. And thank you, Mariana. The floor is back to you.
Thank you, Bertrand. So before we move to the challenge presentation, just a few words about the Innovire project, complementing our Bertrand words. This is a project funded by the European Commission via the European Innovation Council. It also has two other partners besides F6S, which I'm representing today. It's Civita and TIC Biomed. They are here today with us. And this is implemented well by our three organizations. And in a nutshell, it brings together public and private organizations that we call challengers and innovative SMEs that we call solvers to jointly co-create innovative solutions, as Bertrand was explaining. Up until now, we have been working with a selection of 15 challengers, supporting them to improve their unmet innovation needs. And we are currently in the second phase of this program, where we help challengers connect with these innovation providers, as we are doing today in this open market consultation event session. So stay tuned, because in after this session and in the next upcoming months, we will be posting how you could, as the solvers, connect with us. So now I will give the floor to our Hospital de Getafe lovely team. They will introduce the challenge. And I would like to introduce now Rocio Vasquez Anches. Let's stop my share and start your presentation. You could
trying to say it's okay. Can you see it?
Yes, that is lovely. Go ahead. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. Thank you for joining us today as we embark on a transformative journey to revolutionize patient education in the healthcare sector. And thank you very much to Innovire team for this great opportunity. Okay. FHARMAVERSO team proudly represent the Hospital Universitario de Getafe, a public hospital with more than 400 beds, where we provide healthcare service to over 160,000 patients. Our hospital is affiliated with the Madrid Health Service, which oversees healthcare in our region. FHARMAVERSO team consists in a group of hospital pharmacies who provide pharmaceutical care consultations to more than 4,000 of patients in our hospital. Every year, this number keeps growing by 10%. And what is interesting is that almost half of these patients receive subcutaneous medication that they need to administer at home. These medications are for a wide range of chronic diseases such as psoriasis, arthritis, migraines, multiple sclerosis, asthma, road deficiency, and more. In Spain, hospital pharmacies currently offer pharmaceutical care consultations to over 1 million patients each year. Thanks to advancement in treatment options, this number is expected to grow by 10 to 70% annually. One of the fastest growing areas is the development of subcutaneous biological agents to treat very different diseases. And consequently, a wide variety of medical devices is becoming readily available in the market for over 35 different drugs. Our challenge affects all the patients with all different chronic degenerative conditions that require this subcutaneous medication. You may be wondering why we have chosen subcutaneous administration for this challenge. The reason is that subcutaneous injections can present increased complexity for patients due to factors such as the need to identify the correct injection site, follow diverse handling instructions for various devices available in the market, and address the common fear of needles among patients. This complexity contrasts with other administration methods like oral medication, which are often more familiar to patients. In Spain, these medications are dispensed to patients through hospital pharmacy services, and patients then self-administer it at home. From the pharmacy service, we strive to provide patients with clear and easily verbal information about relevant aspects of their disease and treatment. To facilitate this, we employ training kits and provide patients with written material and videos. But the thing is that patients get a ton of information during hospital visits, often associated with difficult news. This overload of information can overwhelm them and reduce their ability to retain crucial details. Consequently, when these patients venture to self-administer their medication at home, they often feel insecure and uncertain. One of the main limitations in healthcare is the lack of support for patients in their homes, the absence of professional supervision in their homes. We are not aware of what happens in our patients' houses. Is the information we provide truly useful? Can we be certain that they are correctly administering their medication? Well, our project goal is clear. We aim to leverage innovation to transform patient education from their homes. We are seeking innovative solutions to improve patient education, enhance subcutaneous medication administration, and instill in patients the confidence to take charge of their health and medication. To do this, we have some important requirements. Firstly, we must establish a digital home accessible environment that not only ensures proper medication administration techniques, but also enhance patient comprehension of their medical conditions. This digital setting should prioritize user-friendliness and create a stimulating training experience. We aim to connect patients with the same illness through group activities and forums. This will help them support each other and share their experiences. And we would like to establish a digital support within the digital environment to help patients resolve their doubts with quick answers when they need it. We also want to gather feedback information on the success of subcutaneous administration, identify potential issues, and assess the number of patients with difficulties in the administration process. Compatibility is a very important requirement. The solution should be accessible from the comfort of patient's home, and it has to work on different devices such as phone, tablets, and computer, because no additional electronic devices will be provided to patients from the hospital. The solution must be designed to accommodate the gradual creation of environment for different diseases treated with subcutaneous medication. And finally, we propose the implementation of 2 access levels, administrator and end user or patient access. This will help us manage content and who can access it. Okay, our initial pilot phase will be centered around hormone growth patients. Why? Because hormone growth therapy patients require daily subcutaneous administration, because a wide array of devices is available in the market, and because a significant part of these patients are children, often proficient in using new technologies. Thus, we anticipate a more seamless and eager adoption of our digital solution. Our pilot scope extends to collaboration with additional public hospitals in Madrid, including at the moment the Hospital Universitario de Getafe. The pilot will include 100 patients, striking a balance between active patients and newcomers. 50% will be under the age of 12 and 10% falling into the category of adults. In the evaluation process, new patients will help us to determine if the information provided is effective in instilling confidence, especially when they administer growth hormone for the first time. And active patients will provide critical insight into the utility of the solution based on their real-life experiences. This pilot is a significant step toward making a real impact. This solution has the potential to help many more patients. It could benefit around 1,200 patients with growth deficiency treated just in Madrid, and it doesn't stop there. As a pivotal pilot conditions, the following key requirements are important. It is necessary to ensure that the solution adheres to all pertinent healthcare regulation and standards. Close collaboration between pharmacies and digital developers is essential to secure accurate information and robust support. A gradual creation of environments for different diseases requiring subcutaneous medication is our goal, so the solution must be designed to accommodate this gradual expansion. And the implementation of a continuous evaluation process is crucial to ensure the solution efficacy. Finally, it's important to mention that this challenge is not receiving funding from Innovire or co-creation action. However, our team is actively looking for other ways to get funding for the co-creation and piloting of the solution. And in this way, some pharmaceutical companies seem to be interested in working with us on this project. These companies are the ones who care the most about their medicines being used correctly. so they are interested in looking for solutions that make treatment work better. Their involvement is expected to make our project even more successful. We have defined some key performance indicators. Measure the level of satisfaction from patients before and after the solution implementation. Evaluate the patient's understanding of their disease, treatment, and key aspects related to the disease, and proper self-administration techniques. And finally, addressing the difficulty of measuring the real impact of administration errors in everyday clinical practice. The solution should incorporate a feature for documenting and capturing administration-related issues. Now, let's explore the business aspect of this challenge. It's not just about enhancing healthcare. FHARMAVERSO represents a significant business opportunity. The market size is substantial and the demand is continually on the rise. In Madrid alone, there could be approximately 75,000 patients who rely on subcutaneous administration medication. This creates an opening for solution providers to enter an existing and expanding market. Furthermore, collaborating with healthcare institutions such as hospitals and pharmaceutical companies offers another avenue for solution providers to explore. Building partnerships with these organizations can result in long-term contracts and sustainable revenue streams. In conclusion, we are on the brink of a healthcare revolution. Together, we can change the patient education experience. If you are interested in joining us on this exciting journey, please send us your solution proposal in this URL. Thank you very much for your time and for your attention today.
Thank you. Thank you, José. What a great presentation. So I think we are now ready for the Q&A session. So any questions from the attendees? You could raise your hand and we will give you the floor. You are allowed to talk, or you could use the chat box for the Q&A to write the question. Oh, we have one question here, and it's I'm going to read it. Have you an example of another digital environment eventually applied in another sector that could be a reference for what you are looking for?
No, as far as we know, there's no other. I'm sure there should be somewhere, we don't know, but that's what's innovative about this this project, that as far as we know, it has not been developed in other pharmacies.
So, thank you. Yes. And also a new one. Are you looking for simple solutions such as an app with instructions, guides, quizzes, and forums, or advanced solutions using extended reality technologies, AR, VR? This is another question.
The first one has already been developed. There are many apps to follow patients' tolerance to treatment, whether they have questions they can contact. The thing is, the problem we find with patients is that when they come to the hospital, they come mostly once a month, usually once every 2 or 3 months. So what do they do when they are at their houses? We try to explain them how to handle their side effects, what to do if a specific side effect happens, how to do with handle the administration of the medicine. But our experience shows that most patients on their first visit to our clinic, they'll listen. As Rocío explained to you, these patients have just been to the doctor's clinic. They've been just diagnosed. They've been told that they have to start the new treatment. or they've been told that their previous treatment has failed, they've got to start a new treatment. So when they come to the pharmacy, they're just thinking about that. They're focused on what the doctor said. It doesn't matter what you tell them. We try to provide them with written information so they can read it at home. But the problem is with this administration devices, it is that it is very difficult for them to understand the leaflets. I don't know if you can see me. I brought this one. You can see through the camera how difficult it is for them to do it. So the problem is that we find out that they didn't do it properly 2 or 3 months after. So we would need something that is easy for them to handle. It has to be something very visual, because something written, they already have it. It's in the leaflet of the drug. It has to be something very, very innovative and very, very easy. Is to make something really difficult, because these devices are difficult, to turn it into something simple to understand.
Okay, thank you. And Elena raised her hand. I will let Elena talk, and then we have another question, but I will go after that to the question.
Thanks, Mariana. So if I may add to these useful questions that the attendees posted on the chat. So first of all, I'm Elena Lopez. I'm from the Innovire team. We've been working together with Hospital de Getafe to develop the challenge. So this question that was posted in the chat was something that we've been discussing. So at the end of the day, as the colleague from Getafe just explained, what they want is to solve the problem, but they are open to any potential technologies that could solve the problem. So on the one hand, we were discussing virtual reality, and in terms of pros and cons, the pros is that it's perhaps something more new and that could be more engaging, especially for children that are the target population in this challenge, but at the same time more costly, and the solution has to be cost effective as well, especially to ensure that the solution can be maintained by the hospital over time, as Getafe Hospital is a public hospital. And on the other hand, for the apps that was mentioned in your questions as well, the pros and cons that we were discussing were that the cons is that perhaps it's more difficult to make a truly engaging app, and that's why we have so many examples already on the market, but none of them really take off perhaps in the clinical field. But at the same time, it's less costly and it's more accessible by any patients just using their own devices, right? Their tablets, their mobile phones. So that's why they are posing these questions to you, the hospital. They really want to see innovative proposals that are cost effective and engaging. So I don't know, Rocio, if with this I've summarized a little bit the conversation we had, or if you want to clarify a little bit more.
Yeah, it has to be cost effective. It has to be affordable. Because not just for just 1 month. We want to keep it for the next years and improve it even.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, if you want, Mariana, we can go to the next question.
Yeah. So 2 more questions. I had one attendee that raised his hand, but now it's not on. So let me know if you want to talk. So one question: the digital environment should be able to check if the self-administering subcutaneous medication was well done.
That would be just perfect, but I'm not sure we can get to that point because there are legal issues there. We have to keep, at least in the beginning, we have to keep patients' confidentiality. I don't know if we can work on both sides communication. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it would be more like a simulated training. So the patient can, when he's at home, if he has doubts about how administering the drug, he can access somewhere and somehow this system shows him how to do it properly. And in the end, somehow being able to detect if the patient understood it, did it well, I don't know. I know that would be really difficult, but it would be just perfect.
That would be innovative and very
Yeah.
positive to hear. Okay, so another one. Are you searching to interact directly online with a doctor or a healthcare professional, or to interact with avatars and objects? So it's two parts. So the question is, are you searching to interact directly with an online doctor or to interact with avatars and objects?
Yeah, first, I think it wouldn't be possible to interact with the patient, as I said before, because there are legal issues that we would have to solve before. Maybe someday we'll do it, but we still have to solve those issues first. So it would be more interacting with, as they say in the question, with avatars or with the screen of whatever device.
And if there are any complication, they can be to contact with the professional.
Yeah, there are other ways to communicate with us. We are implementing the apps. You said we are using them now, but they don't solve the problem we want to solve today. They've got our numbers. They can come to the pharmacy as well, but they need an appointment for that. So it makes it really difficult when you need to inject the drug sometimes daily. You cannot come every day here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, new question. In the type of accesses, don't you need to add an access type for healthcare professionals?
Healthcare professionals who want to be trained on how administering the drugs. It might be another branch, but it should be first focused on patients. The language should be basic language they can understand, and the images should be easy to interact with the patient. But if you mean with the question that healthcare professionals might interact with the patient, as I said before, no, at least not now.
And all explained is perfectly aligned with our solutions, and all seems that fits perfectly. Is there any budget defined? It's important to focus developments to reach objectives. Other question would be if there is a planned calendar of the project. Thanks. So we have here two questions. One is regarding the budget, and the other one is the planned calendar to implement and develop the solution.
We don't have any budget yet because we are looking for funding, as Rocío said before. And what was the second question, sorry?
The calendar, the planned calendar to develop.
We are not any, okay, I can. More or less, we have to develop the digital environment in 3 to 6 months, and then to prove the platform with a usability study in 6-12 months, but we don't have anything established because we need to receive proposal, receive the budget, and then looking for funding. We have talked with some pharmaceutical companies, but we have to close the budget of the solver from the solvers and to design the timetable.
Okay, yeah. Well, I would love to hear some voices. If someone would like to speak, just raise the hand. But we have 2 more questions coming. The first one, in your opinion, what are the risks associated with that type of solution that we should try to prevent, mitigate?
Yeah,
So
this question we should get forward to you. You are the experts. These kind of questions, you should give us the answer. The risks would be that we don't inform the patients correctly and they do it wrong. But I guess that we are going to approve whatever information is on whatever solution we find should be first validated by one of us, or at least one pharmacist or physician or whoever knows how to administer these medicines.
Other question. Maybe it was told before, but should be working on all device, also virtual reality glasses?
No, because patients don't have these glasses. We don't know if they have them, but I guess most of them don't. And we don't have any way to provide them. So no, it should be something easy. It should be something that the patient, because these drugs are going to be given chronically. So the patient might be at home, but the patient also might be at his work. The patient might be on holidays and he's got doubts, maybe. We understand that patients accessing this solution should do it on first days of treatment, because once they learn how to do it, they don't want to do it again. But the solution is going to be available for them always, and it can be anywhere. And it's not going to be just one patient, one time. Patients go through different treatments because treatments fail. When they fail, they get a new treatment and they have to start all over again. So they have to learn a new treatment, a new device.
Perhaps I was wondering if Hospital de Getafe could summarize in 3 keywords the challenge or what the solution should try to accomplish. To me, from what I understood from the discussion with you, that the solution must be engaging for the patients, educative, and affordable, right? But not sure whether you would define that differently.
Now, we are open to different solutions, but it has to be something, how to approach the solution should be from patient's perspective, not from us. We might validate the information, but it's not going to be us using the tool. It should be patients, all kinds of patients. It might be children, as we said before, they are more used to using these technologies, but also elder patients, because even though patients, most of them are children, their carers are older, and some patients are older also. It's also something we want to expand to other treatments in the future. So if we worked on it before, it would be great. And it should be affordable, that's for sure. And it should be, I think the most important thing is it should be useful. It should be something that patients need to use, that they want to use it when they get there to their homes. If they get to their homes and they want to see it, it's useful. If they don't want to use it, it's not useful. It's the same with the leaflets we give them with written information. If they don't read it, there's no point in giving it. Some do it, so it's important to give them this tool if they want to use it. That would be just great.
So I can also make a question, just making myself in the shoes of the attendees. It's regarding the tests, and do you have some a defined group or some patients that could test the pilot or the alpha version of this, and to get feedback, the loop of coming to refined requirements? As you were saying, this should be user friendly and should attend the expectations of the patients that will use. So I'm imagining that you may have a plan for the tests of this technology.
It's a pilot study. We would start with just a few patients. In the future, we would expand it to many more patients. But yes, the information that we add to this tool has to be validated by professionals, but also by patients. We should have different kind of patients from different backgrounds in order to see if they understand the language, if they have any problems, issues, something that, because we find that every day that with the information we provide, sometimes it's too technical, even when you think that it is not. And we usually validate it. And in our group, sometimes there are non-professionals, some of them are patients, who work with us to validate that information. Not scientifically, not the content, but how it is expressed, if it's understandable or not.
The user experience.
Really important to do that.
Usability.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you. And I also saw from your pitch and slides that you were mentioning the first block of requirements associated to regulatory aspects. So another question, if putting myself in the shoes of the attendees, is it is also expected that the list of requirements from the solver can integrate the regulatory requirements that are mandatory to comply with. So do you expect that expertise from the solver to be included in the requirements?
Yeah, if they have expertise in that, that would be great. We have to keep the confidence of the patient, the confidentiality. It has to be a tool that provides information in just one direction, from us to them, but not from them to us. There should be a way that maybe in like a globally, we might be able to analyze the tool, how it's being used, where the patients focus more their information, but it should never be individualized, that information. We should not be able, because otherwise we cannot do it. It's like we have to keep that confidentiality. We cannot know what the patient is looking for information. We can do like on a global basis, like most patients focus on this type of information or goes to this device or whatever, but we cannot know that individually.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let's see if we have new questions arising from this discussion. So everything is.
I'm sure that some of the participants, some of the solvers know someone who is getting these medications, because as Rocío said, it's very prevalent. There are many patients. The number is increasing because the innovation in this kind of drugs is increasing. They are all proteins, so they can only be given by injection, and usually by subcutaneous injection. So it's going to be a growing problem for the next years. And it would be great if we could show you how these medicines are administered, because many of you might think that it's just an injection, that you get the needle and you push it. But it's really difficult because they have to know where to do the injection, how to calculate the dose. Some of them, it's really difficult to know whether the dose has been given or not. It's complicated, and it's actually many of the questions we get from patients is regarding how to administer them.
Mm-hmm. To be training and education products. So,
perhaps, Mariana, I'm wondering whether we could now post the questions that are on the screen to the attendees. Now that the challenger has solved your questions, perhaps you can share a bit more based on your experience when developing this kind of solution. For instance, in the first question that is displayed in the slide, in your opinion, what would be a good solution to improve patient education and self-administration? So we've been discussing about apps, we've been discussing about virtual reality and using virtual reality glasses. I was wondering whether you have experience in any other field, any other potential solution that could be used to boost the patient education and make them feel empowered to self-administer the drug. I don't know if we have any attendee who could develop on this or have other experience.
Please raise the hands so that I can give the floor to the attendee that would like to talk. Yeah, we have one. Please, Ineva, you could talk. Just unmute your microphone.
No. Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yes, I am Ralph from Innovire Pharma. Yes, we have experience in developing in virtual environments. So in this sector, in the pharmaceutical sector. So here our experience here is we can develop an application, or it's like an online link, or on virtual reality for glasses. That was my question before, if it's also needed, but it's how you how you said it before. It's right that the virtual class, maybe in 10 years everybody will have it at home. No, it's difficult. Some have it, some not, because it's quite expensive. So our experience in developing this environment is this: if it's for a small group of people, we suggested the glasses, the virtual reality glasses, but it is more for a public use. So it's the best is to have the app for devices, for Android and Apple devices, and also the online link for computers. And what we did in the last years was we developed training modules for how to administrate a product, also how to administrate a G-ring, and also the process to sensibilize the process of a patient, because patients maybe he is for patients a big problem, and he think he is the only patient in the world. I think could feel like this. So we also developed this kind of solutions to sensibilize the treatment and the pathology. I don't know if this was the question, but I just summarize our experience in developing the virtual environments.
Ralph, can I ask something? The projects you worked on using glasses, were they? You said that they were related to health care. Were they on a hospital, or were they at patients' homes? Were the patients taking home these glasses, or were they using?
No, it was more in this case. No, it wasn't for patients. It was more for a company that they use it for the sales force.
Yeah,
more to impact. Also, we did it in some hospital in one case, but it was like one shot. So we went to a hospital to show how to administrate the object or the medication, but it was like a one shot. And sure, you have to go with the equipment and to different points and it was also in Spain. In Spain, to different hospitals, and it was only to interact with objects in the environment. It was also my other question before, because if you interact with the environment, you can interact with objects, with avatars, with maybe we can introduce something with ChatGPT, but then to interact with a professional or doctor, it's more difficult. The part of developing this part, because you need to develop and interact with another person on another side of the device. So to your question, yes, we did it, but it was more, I said before, more for company, for sales force to impact, and also for Congress. In one case, we did it also for company, and we went to hospitals to introduce them to how to administrate the medication.
Thank you.
But it's like said before, it's more for a small group, because if you want to go to prepare a solution for higher for larger group, so I think in this case the best will be an environment that you only need a mobile device. Everybody has a mobile device. And you also the option to enter by link, online link.
Something that we can provide them in our clinic, a link or an app they can download. That would be great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So we still have a couple of minutes, 5 minutes more or less. If any of the attendees would like also to talk, Elena, do you want to continue with the questions for solvers?
Yeah, in case someone else wants to add to Ralph's presentation from Ineva. So any other experiences when working with this kind of solutions? Especially, I think that Hospital de Getafe would be really willing to learn about those lessons that you learned when implementing those projects. What worked best, what didn't work so well, where you needed more help from the clinical team, in this case, from the pharmacies. Any ideas around this? If so, please, Sarah, raise your hand, and Mariana will give you the floor to speak.
Let's wait, see if someone would like to talk.
If not, I think that another important question from the team here at Innovire is whether you believe there's something in the challenge presentation and in the challenge description that is published on the website that would need to be improved for a solver to properly address the challenge and propose a solution. Is there anything that should be written clearer, details that you are missing, something like that?
Maybe they are a bit shy now and just analyzing information.
Yes, we know it's a lot to process,
Yeah.
especially if you are looking at the website now with all the different requirements that the hospital has.
And I'm sure that they will come back in our channels that we have been here putting in the chat. Elena is being so super lovely by posting here all the important links that you need to follow. Also, when we reach the end, I will put here some channels, important advices to continue the discussion. We have Bertrand raised the hand.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much, Mariana. Yes, I just wanted actually to stress the remarkable engagement of the whole team, the pharmacist team from Getafe Hospital. This is not easy. This is not easy for a buyer, notably a public buyer. And it's not a common practice for a public buyer to step out like this, to try to reach the market, to try to involve innovative suppliers. That could be large corporate, that could be very innovative SMEs and startups. Talking with certain experience in this domain of stimulating, supporting, encouraging, accompanying, if I can say, buyers, procurers, as we call them, notably from the public sector. This is not common at all. This is not a daily exercise that they do, actually. This is certainly some extra work for them, some extra engagement. And having these nice 4 pharmacists busy, with very busy schedule, with such an expertise and experience, staying with us for almost 1 hour and presenting the solution, the ideal solution that they need to support support their patient, us, we can say, citizens in their hospital, in their community. This is remarkable. So via my words, you understand how much we are pleased and very much impressed by their dedication to do so. So again, from the European Innovation Council side, if we can do anything more to support you guys on the ground, but also potential suppliers. We heard a couple of companies today being here. Some of them might be coming from the EAC, meaning being supported by us financially, or not. I mean, we will be very pleased to do so. And I send all the very good vibes that I can from Brussels. We will have indeed the possibility to look again at this presentation, excellent presentation, and these couple of exchanges. We understood that we have the possibility to continue to exchange, to answer potential questions from the supplier side. And from our side, EAC, we will spread around to our community, business community, and researcher community as much as we can. The very interesting information that you shared today. So these were my couple of words. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If I may just add on Bertrand's words, the advantage that an innovation supplier can get from working with this team of motivated professionals, pharmacies, as Bertrand said, is that as Bertrand was saying, this is not the standard. These are the highly motivated professionals that want to innovate on top of their day-to-day job, which means that for you to become a first customer reference, if you have a solution in development, is perfect, because they can act as promoters of the solution within their community, their pharmacist community. They are in touch with other hospitals. They have the clinical knowledge. So for an innovation supplier that is more technology related, this is gold, because it's a way for you to speed up your go-to-market process. So have a look at these kinds of opportunities, because it can speed up your go-to-market process if you are not still in the market. So I would say that that's my encouraging words for innovation suppliers to participate in this kind of processes.
I was muted. Thank you, Elena. I took the opportunity to just share the FHARMAVERSO form that is also here in the chat box. But just to give some final remarks, this will all be put it together in the discussion page of the project website in the F6S platform. So where you all registered as attendees of this event, and just click it in the Zoom link. There you will also have a discussion page. Yes, go ahead, Bertrand. Compliment me?
Yes, final words from my side. Just to say that in the EAC, we are offering other type of services to companies, startups, and SMEs, but also to buyers, to public buyers. So we do have other supporting schemes or supporting programs in your process of purchasing, buying innovative solutions. We also do have a prize, actually, the European Innovation Procurement Award, where we had already a couple of hospitals being actually rewarded for their excellent work. So it's also a financial prize, actually, for your information. And actually, the process for the prize is open. I will share some more information in the chat. And yeah, please have a look to the very different actions we are doing in the EIC. And I can only encourage you to stay connected with the excellent team of Innovire, F6S, TIC Biomed, Civitas, and the others. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was our pleasure to have you here, Bertrand, Elena, all the team from the Hospital de Getafe. I would like to thank you all, and also, of course, the attendees. So you have here on the chat all the important links, but don't worry, you could follow also on this social media channels, project channels and websites. So stay tuned for the upcoming calls, for the upcoming information to become a solver. And thank you for joining us today. Hope you all have a lovely day. Have a nice day, and looking forward to meet you all again.